This is brilliant. This is so much easier and so much more likely to go in somebody's purse.
We have about 50 kits to take with us today.
All right. Are we taking extra of these?
Should we?
Yeah, let's take a couple of those.
Okay,
just to
I
hand
already
out to
packed
everybody.
that.
For a long time, my son Randy suffered from a substance use disorder that originally looked like alcoholism and quickly became addiction to cocaine and subsequently crack cocaine.
Oh, good.
This
Oh,
is all
good.
the loose Narcan.
Okay. All right.
When it was apparent that his addiction was taking a mighty toll on his life, I reached out to my lifelong friend Sean, whose son also suffered from substance use disorder, and he had found recovery.
Oh, there they are. Yeah. There's a moment when you accept that your child is addicted to substances, whether it's alcohol or drugs. And that's shocking, and you're reeling, and you have no one to go to. And for a long time, people tend to keep it a secret.
Well, within months, Randy overdosed and died from crack cocaine laced with fentanyl. What was very clear to me and obviously to her was that need. We are our children's middle of the night emergency phone call, but who is our emergency phone call? Who's our support system? So together we form Love in the Trenches.
Do we have string rope to hang it?
To provide the support that we know other families need and to work to eradicate the shame
Love is love.
that is associated with the disease of addiction.
All these people are holding this terrible secret, and they have nowhere to go with it.
We have something to offer that maybe can't so much be taught. It really has to be lived. And it really, literally, is about the application of love while you are in a space that feels like a trench. And that's why we are Love in the Trenches. And our mission is to eradicate the shame that we know so many families are carrying.
What happens with parents is that when they flounder, the addicted child flounders even more. And when they step back, but they step back with love, they're opening the doors to the possibility of change. It's not a cure. One of the things I wanted to start with is the feeling of isolation. When we start this journey, the isolation is really overwhelming.
We all come from the same time, right? You know, where you hide these things and you put your best face forward and you want to be the perfect family. And I've outgrown that very quickly, I think in large part because of the group.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate that.
I know why we started LITT was to be there for the crisis, to be there for the 3 a.m. call. But I think we can also see that even when you get through the crisis phase, this is something that goes on and on. That is in the background. It's the background music of your life now. The possibility of the relapse. Do I worry?
Parents of kids who are active in their addiction or in recovery speak the same language. And as Sean has said before, there's nothing you can say that will surprise us. We really do find it amazing that we're never surprised by what an addicted person will do. And the same is true in the grief group. You know, that as parents are able to sort of share stories about what it was like to love their child, they move from the anguish and the grief. They give a voice to the anger at what the disease did, how that ravaged their child. And then we've actually even been able to move into places of love and humor.
And ground zero is a weird concept.
LITT feels like the best live hug, in-person hug ever. It helps me to solidify the belief that addiction is a disease and not my child's fault or my fault.
The line between life and death is so fragile of a line. We don't talk about it. And to have a community like LITT to be able to talk about it openly, you know, how it's impacted us, how we're working through our emotions, how we're working through our love for our sons and daughters that we've lost, how we're working through it with the siblings of those and the family. I'm in just immense gratitude that I have found LITT and LITT's found me.
I was raised in an Army family, and so therapy wasn't really up high on the list, and this emotional stuff wasn't high on the list. You don't cry, you don't do this, you don't do that. So it opened a whole new emotional arena for me, because I had to deal with it, right? I never had to deal with stuff like that, so.
If we can get people to understand this disease, if we can get people to help support resources for this disease, if we can keep families in touch with their addicted child in a healthy way, we can make a difference all over the country. We can change this story. We really can.
It's exciting, the thought that we have taken on so much so quickly, and that the response has been as overwhelmingly positive as it's been, because we have other opportunities in the organization through the speaker series, inviting authors, going out into the community and being available, again, with the Narcan distribution, with the opportunity to expand the support groups. There's so many places for us to take the organization, and it's really exciting to be playing a role in this.
The LITT community has given me just this place to land when I so needed it. I feel like, everyone needs to have a place to land.